The MonsterVerse of the production company Legendary seems to get a new addition soon. However, the setting will no longer be a large metropolis or an island, but the snowy landscape of North America. Of course, we are talking about the mystical creature Bigfoot. At least that's what the Hollywood Reporter reports, who also found out that the studio is supposed to have secured the rights to Max Brook's novel Devolution. Allegedly, Brooks, who also wrote the template for World War Z, had already developed the concept for a Bigfoot movie in 20, but then decided to write the book template first. The story of Devolution revolves around a small village in the US state of Washington. It is located at the bottom of the huge volcano Mount Rainier and is attacked by a monster after its eruption. The locals also call it Sasquatch, which means hairy giant. The villager Kate Holland is at the center of the story. According to the sources of the Hollywood Reporter, the plot will be a mixture of survival, brutal horror, and scientific investigation. The border between truth and fiction shall be close together. But if Devolution really makes it into the MonsterVerse at the end of the day is still questionable. Legendary Studios has secured the rights. However, it is hard to imagine Bigfoot next to Godzilla and Kong. A seamless connection to the saga is therefore difficult. Nevertheless, we want to let us be surprised how the studio plans the realization of the novel. A release date is not foreseeable at this time. The shooting of Jurassic World 3 has been on hold for months. As Deadline now reports, the cast and film crew will continue shooting the blockbuster under strict conditions on July 6th. This will be the first major film project to actually start production again in the UK. The reason for this is a comprehensively worked out security concept that Universal presented for the shooting at the Pinewood Studios in London. In addition to the immense losses that Universal is suffering with every day that production comes to a standstill, the film studio has invested another $5 million just for the implementation of the concept. This includes the installation of the private medical facility called Your Doctor and strict instructions. A part of this is regular testing on the set, the immediate isolation of employees with clear symptoms, a so-called antivirus fog that is sprayed on the set at night, countless disinfectant dispensers, and of course the obligatory wearing of masks. However, this shouldn't have that much of an effect on the scenes in front of the camera, as most of the scenes with lots of people in a pile have already been shot. The responsible people have so far held onto their cinema release on the 11th of June 2021. Well, the quick and strict implementation of Universal's requirements will also have a positive impact on The Batman or Fantastic Beasts 3, which are also filmed in England, will certainly be seen soon. Due to the pandemic, the San Diego Comic-Con cannot take place at the end of July as usual and can be therefore comfortably watched from home through a small event. DC and Warner Brothers probably thought that this was not a bad idea and announced the DC FanDome event a few days ago. The whole thing is supposed to take place on August 22nd and last 24 hours. Casual talks with the creative minds behind films like The Batman, Wonder Woman 1984 or The Suicide Squad are planned. Zack Snyder is also supposed to have been specially invited to chat about his long-awaited Justice League Snyder Cut. So far, The Rock has also announced his appearance on Instagram. Also included is the cast of The Suicide Squad with its director James Gunn, and many more will probably follow. The whole thing is conceived as a participatory event for fans around the globe, because as a viewer you also have the opportunity to actively participate in the DC FanDome by submitting creative work. Actually, a cool idea. It'll be interesting to see how the whole thing will be implemented. What do you think we can expect from the DC FanDome? Maybe new trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 or first pictorial excerpts for the upcoming The Batman? Write it in the comments. And once again, a wave of postponements of cinema releases is passing through Hollywood. The first one is Christopher Nolan's Tenet, who stuck to his release until the end. However, the new date is also just 2 weeks later, as the new date for the US market is 31st of July 2020. Wonder Woman 1984 is also affected by the postponements. In this case, Warner Brothers agreed on release on October 2nd. In face of the already fourth postponement of Wonder Woman 1984, leading actress Gal Gadot now turned to her fans via Twitter, thanked them for their support so far, and promised that the long wait would be worth it. One of the few good news is from James Bond, No Time to Die, because here fans can at least look forward to an earlier release on November 20th, 2020. The following changes only affect the US market so far. Matrix 4, which is now dated on April 1st, 2022. The originally planned time slot of Matrix 4 on May 21st, 2021 will be given to a completely different film, namely Godzilla vs. Kong. Universal is also tackling some movies. Tom Hanks' science fiction film Bios is postponed by half a year to April 16th, 2021. Keanu Reeves' Bill and Ted Face the Music even slides a bit forward and will now be released on August 14th, 2020. Another shift that directly affects the film world is the rescheduling of the 2021 Academy Awards, which used to take place in February after the Golden Globes, but next year this will change. Instead of the 28th of February, the presentation of the world's most important film prize will now take place on 25th of April 2021. The main reason for this is not even just the distance relations, but much more far-reaching problems. For one thing, many films that are considered candidates for the Film Award are still stuck in post-production, and it's not yet clear how many can be completed by the end of the qualification phase. Of course, one factor is that the longer you wait, the more likely you are to have few restrictions for the ceremony. Finally, the planned completion of a $400 million film museum is currently not possible due to the pandemic. It was actually planned to inaugurate the museum at the same time as the Oscar ceremony. This would already be the fourth relocation in the history of the Academy Awards, because so far only a flood in Los Angeles in the 1930s, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., and an assassination attempt on US President Ronald Reagan could prevent the prestigious award ceremony from taking place on the planned date.